scared.
And
he did not know how I was going to accept that dream. Now, every dream of Reverend Nana Kwesi, which he has told me, comes to pass.
On kasa vision, baroka dream. Uji huachinyi abeya ose daye.
So Reverend Nana Kwesi, even though he will not tell you that it was a vision revealed to him, he will tell you it was a dream. And if you despise that, the content of the dream, it will happen to you to your surprise.
So no ayabasa. So
unbeknown to me,
worried because
unbeknown to me, he was worried and he was having sleepless nights, and he could not tell me because he was perceiving that something terrible was going to happen in Ghana. Now she said she had a dream. He had a dream. He had a dream, and I had gone to the Supreme Court with him.
Papa John Dramani Mahama.
And he said that in the dream he saw the Excellency, the ex-president John Dramani Mahama.
MPP for NDC.
And he saw some big shots of NPP party and NDC party and the chairperson of the Electoral Commission.
Judge Penino, Krata than anima or Bobo.
And he saw all of a sudden that there was a paper before the presiding judge, and the presiding judge was reading what was on the paper.
I've seen Samana Judge and Ekano. I say, Kotia MPP. Now, I'm more beyond them will be a surprise.
And he said that in the dream, while the presiding judge was reading the verdict, it appeared as though the verdict was against NPP party, and all the people in the courtroom, in the chamber of the court, were surprised.
I foresee the Ohuyan said, Medemena Cromoti at Timho, may you mean nothing in Pabuam, and I mean Menako Cromotina Tim form, and I may be Sabismano. And
he said that in the dream he saw that I removed my shoes and I firmed my feet, in fact, my toes, on the ground, and I began to mutter out certain words.
Now, said your Sika 7, in fact, a strange kakra.
Now, the way he narrated the dream was very strange.
Or said Dianum, na ase Supreme Court judges no declared the NDC.
He said in the dream, the verdict of the court was that there ought to be another election in favor, and so the verdict was in favor of NDC.
But the damn honum so as a faina judge no eguso kenkaya obe declare.
At the same time, it appeared as though the judge or the presiding judge was about to now read the verdict to the court.
Dream num.
So in the dream
num ya declare ama NDC. Dream na muso hu say afeina judge no eguso kenkan krata no no aba be declare.
So he said
he
said in the dream it appeared as though the verdict had been declared and it was in favor of NDC, but at the same time in that same dream it appeared that they were about to now read the verdict, and I had firmed the grip of my toes on the ground.
Not just so see dream num ya declare ma NDC a kroma ye din MPP for more courtroom honum aye din na NDC for jubilate e wo dream num.
So in the dream the verdict was in favor of NDC, and the people who were supporters of MPP were quiet, and there was quietness in the country, and the supporters and sympathizers of NDC were jubilating and celebrating. But in that same dream, it was now that the judge was about to read the judgment. Have you seen how the dream was?
And
I firmed up the grip of my toes on the ground, and I was muttering words by way of prayer. Now he said, all of a sudden, he saw
judge and declare Senanado and a dinkuni because onya 51.2 BBB.
So he said that the judge now at the end of reading the verdict, he saw that the verdict or the judgment was in favor of Nana Akufo-Addo, and the judge said that Nana Akufo-Addo actually scored 51.2 something.
I feel say and Wabusa mo dream say Na daddy, anetina timi abasa anam say Rade enaye.
And he said in the dream, he asked me that, Daddy, how did this happen this way? And I said to him that it is the doing of the Lord. Then he woke up from the dream. Now, this thing was not so easy. It was not so ordinary. There were things going on behind the scenes. And as for me, I knew.
I'm telling you, this our prophecy, no. And
so that prophecy I gave was not an easy thing. That is why when God That is why when God opens the eyes of a prophet and he prophesies to you, you must pray about that thing until you see the manifestation thereof.
Now
let us start from this woman.
Mami, menam nipanum enerade elidi made me corner in chain.
Now, so when I was walking in the midst of the congregation, the Spirit of the Lord led me to this lady.
And so
I saw a star which stopped and settled over a star which was hovering over her head. And the Lord spoke to me. Now I saw that this lady was crying, and she was actually crying physically. So I asked her why she was crying.
In fact, the
more she made an attempt to speak to me, the more her tears increased. So I told her to exercise patience, and I told her to wipe her face, wipe the tears of her face, and come up the stage.
Mami Owusu.
So she was crying. And now it appears that she has stopped crying. Have you stopped crying?
Because as soon as kasa TM paper. Say dear co. No su. Suffer. No su. Woman tissue. I don't know kutano. I don't know Benjamin Fee and Owusu.
So why are you in the house of God and you are crying? Crying
and when I asked
her why she was crying, she could not even say a word. She kept on crying uncontrollably. And I do not know why she's crying though. But her tears will turn into joy. Madam, it is your soul that is sad. Now, the tears you are shedding are not ordinary tears. Your tears are actually speaking. So her soul is grieving, and the grief relates to the demise of this lady. And so the tears you are shedding is a manifestation of the grief of your soul. Now we see this lady as a living being seated in front of us. But how you see it or how things appear to you is not how things are in the realm of the spiritual.
Prophetic ministry is important.
It is for this reason that the prophetic ministry is important. Can you put your hands together for Jesus? So we see her as a living person sitting in our presence. But how you see her seated is not how it is in the spiritual. And so it is her soul that is aggrieved. Her soul is grieved, and the grief is manifesting in the tears she was shedding. Now, this is what the issue is.
Ewon fie bim ni mfie bim bribisi ewo
Now,
ye nua bɛn na busua mu.
within certain periods of time, in certain years, certain things happen in the life of this lady.
Na tetibrem de na ta si pa.
And in the days of old, or several years ago, this thing was very recurrent or was very rampant.
Ba nansan de esi but intense sisa.
But in these days, though that thing still occurs, the frequency of occurrence has reduced.
Ye nua bɛn ne hunam nipa bi. Akofa bosom aba abusua no mu.
Now,
Bosom.
one of the relatives of this lady introduced into their family an idol.
Enti wanana bi na ɔkɔm saa bosom.
And because of this, one of her ancestors was a steward of that idol.
Na ewo mu a omukum nwan ana abrechire ana nantwie ede ye sacrifice ema saa bosom no.
And from time to time, they would sacrifice a flock or a number of sheep or goats as a way of sacrifice to that spirit or that idol.
Enanu bi ena obi di fi kan bosom no.
Now,
Nsumai
some
no.
time ago, somebody defiled that spirit,
Nsumai ni bufu yi.
and the defilement incurred the displeasure and the anger of the spirit.
Afedi nsumai ni se ohia nipa somo de bɛyɛ mpata ama no enye odwan anase mmerechire sɛde da bi ɔmo yɛ no.
Now, because of that incident, the spirit now demanded that instead of offering sheep and goats or cattle as sacrifices unto it, it will no longer require the sacrifices of these things, but will demand the sacrifice of a man or a human being.
Nea ɔkɔm bosom no wawu.
Now, the steward or the priest of that shrine or that spirit is dead.
Ɛna nsumai na montia na honhom a ɔmo hyɛ nsuom amoti ɔmo wɔ mmepom ɛne nam nsuom ɔmo ne abusua na bɛhyia mu sɛ asmasi awukɔ momo obi me replace no na ɔmɛkɔm me saa na nsumai na ɛka.
Now, the spirit, that this idol spirit, which is in the family of this lady, the dwarfs associated with this spirit visited her family and said to her family that now that this person who used to be the steward of this shrine is dead, please appoint somebody to operate in his stead so that he would be the priest or the priestess of the shrine of that spirit which is associated with her family.
Nsumai na ka kyerɛ abusua na ka abusua ne nyɛ.
Now, in spite of several demands and several requests and several warnings, the family has turned on a deaf ear to the request and demands of the spirit.
Ɛno na nsumai ne abusua na hyia sɛ so ma obi ankom no a ɔbɛhyia abusua na se.
Now, the spirit has now finally instructed the family and said to the family that if you do not appoint somebody suitable to replace the person who had died and for the person to become a steward, then the spirit said that it is going to exterminate, wipe out the entire family.
Ɛno nti ama abusua ni abre.
Now, because of this, the family has become very frantic and desperate.
Abusua ni nsumai akasa.
The family has communicated with the spirit
Ɛwɔ twɛn atoa ɛne kyɛw pa kwan so.
by way of a petition. By way of a petition, they have made a plea before the spirit.
Ɛhɔ na nsumai so ka sɛ sɛ ɔbɛpene ama abusua no na n'abufuso ɛbɛte akɔda a ɔmo ma ne dwaba atan
Now,
na wɔmfa ndwodwo ne kra.
the spirit said that it is only going to grant that plea from the family if only the family would appease it with an ewe to appease its wrath and fury against the family.
Abusua kɔda adwene ho ahunu sɛ abusua na se bɛhye deɛ ɛne ɔmbɛ present
Now,
obi
the
ama
family,
nsumai.
after their consideration, have come to a decision or a resolution that it is better for one person to die instead of an entire family to die.
Na ensuman no sen no tie.
Now, this is the appearance or the form of that spirit I am referring to.
Ni nipadua ate sɛ dɛnkyɛm firi ne sisi kɔ fam no ate sɛ dɛnkyɛm.
Now, from its waist downward toward its feet has the semblance of a crocodile.
Firi ne sisi ɛba no soro ɔte sɛ
And from
nipa.
its waist upward has the semblance of a human being.
Ne nsa yɛ mmienu.
It has 2 arms,
Ne ti yɛ baako
It's got
ɛso
one
anim
head,
mmienu
but
ɛna
it's
ɛwɔ ne
got
ti
2
no.
faces on that head.
Anim a ɛhwɛ anim te sɛ m'anim a mohwɛ mi ɛte sɛ nipa. Ɔwɔ anim ɛwɔ n'atikɔ ɛte sɛ dɛnkyɛm anim.
So the foreface on that head has the appearance or the semblance of a human being, and the face behind its head has the semblance of a crocodile.
Na motia dɔso.
And it has a lot of dwarfs attending it.
Yɛka sɛ yɛka wɔn a namba bobɔ obiara moma so ɛyɛ ani na ɛbɔ moma so na atwerɛ namba no a sɛ yɛba ateasefoɔ ho na sɛ yɛhwɛ ateasefoɔ akenkan mu a mekaa no menya 196.
Now, if I were to count the number of dwarfs around this spirit, there were about 196 dwarfs.
Na strength na ɛwɔ mu ne sɛ ɔmo de anua bɛyɛ ahyɛ cage mu ɛna amotia no atwa ho ahyia.
Now, the strange thing is that they have kept this lady in a cage, and this cage has been surrounded by the dwarfs.
Na bosomi a yɛwura mu yi mu ɛna nsuman no nea ɔte sɛ dɛnkyɛm te sɛ nipa n'anim yɛ mmienu no ɔba bɛfa yɛ nua bɛɛ ɛde na yɛ ahanam ama ne se.
Now, it is in this very month, this month in which we are, that this spirit I just described, which looks partly like a crocodile and partly has human features, I saw that this spirit is going to prey on this lady in this month.
Nti ɔbɛgyina yɛ nua bɛɛ nkyɛn.
And so, because of this spirit has approached the cage.
Obie cage no na wayi yɛ nua bɛɛ.
And the spirit is getting ready to open the cage and bring this lady out from the cage.
Na deɛ te ne sɛ
And the issue is
anadwo yi a na ɔbɛbia yi yɛ nua bɛɛ firi cage no mu.
that the spirit is going to bring this lady out from the cage this very night.
Enti yɛ nua bɛɛ honam mu ɔbɛyare ada faako a wɔntumi nkeka ne ho ɛso na ɔnwui.
Now, so what will happen is that physically, this lady will fall sick and she will be bedridden with sickness and she will not be able to move or do anything.
Na bosomi yɛ mu ɛnkɔ na wie yɛ saa sunsun yi ɔde yɛ nua bɛɛ bɛyɛ ahanam ama ne se.
Now, before this month goes to an end, this spirit is going to prey on this lady.
Na kyerɛ sɛ yɛ nua bɛɛ wɔbɛfiri ateasefoɔ asase so.
What it means is that this lady is going to die and depart from the face of this earth.
Enti cage na ɔhyɛ mu no ɛno nti na ne honhom ne kra esum.
And so the reason her soul is aggrieved is because of the cage in which she has been kept.
Noise bɛɛ na ɛwɔ mu no. Now ɛyɛ den ɛna ɔyɛ nipa a nenam ateasefoɔ asase so yehu ɛwɔ baabi a yɛahyia mu yi ɔsɔfoɔ odiifoɔ ɛyɛ den ne ɛnu nyinaa na ɛwɔ ha na wohunu nsɛm a wɔkeka yi.
Now, so man of God, how is it that we are here with you together in this place, but you have been able to tell us all these things you have said?
Mehu sɛ me ne angels num baako yɛwura pillar of clouds mu na mehu sɛ yɛakɔpie asase bi so na hɔ na mehu sɛ yɛnua baa yi ɔhyɛ cage mu na hɔ na mehu no nsɛm a mekeka yi nyinaa.
Now I saw myself and one of the angels that we entered the pillar of clouds and we appeared on a certain land, and it was at that place that I saw all these things which are related to you in my vision.
Yɛnua baa yi ɔsi apini wɔ sunsun.
Now this lady is travailing in the spiritual realm.
Awurade mmerɛ mu bi ma no.
And may God intervene for her.
Na waduru owuo ne asɛm adɔn kwanta.
Because she is at the brink of death.
Owuo bɔfoɔ bɛfa no kɔ.
And the demon of death is about to take her away.
Na ensumɛn wɔde ne nsa nea yɛde kyerɛ kwan sei no ɛmmɔwerɛ fia bi a wɔano a mogya wɔano mahu sɛ ɔde akyerɛ yɛ nua baa yɛ akoma.
I saw
Na kyerɛ sɛ ɔbɛte n'akoma.
I saw that this spirit had stretched forth its hand and had pointed with its index finger toward the heart of this lady. What it means is that the spirit intends to cause her heart to cease.
Saa sunsum yi na konya sinsuom.
Now this spirit has its throne in a pool of water or in a stream of water.
Ensuo ne tini firi Togo.
Now that stream of water flows from Togo.
Na ohwa etwam eba na wieye a baabi a ensuman na henemagu sunsumi na konya kese baako si aye soga kope ensuo bi eda ho.
So this stream of water or this river flows from Togo to Sogakope.
And a cage. And
so it is.
Sogakope ensuo bim.
So it is at
Sogakope cage
in a certain stream of water that this lady has been caged.
And as soon as man from at a sort of denchem. Nanis root is a nipa. What bay cage, Now all be a cage, Now all ye and we are by a free moon. What didn't buy a Hannah Mamma say? Or say, yen we are by a Bushian and a day. No, I am for a body amano, and I am pata diamano. Corbeshia Bushiana say, Nanso Bushiana the Enya Bay, I am pata diamano. Into a fire near bay, or betchain, or benabotre, chain, Cosisa Bushiano, Edu Obi. Now
the spirit said that her family has given her to it as a form of appeasement, and after it has taken the life of this lady, it is going to wait until such a time that the family will find somebody suitable to replace the person who died, and for the person to become the priest of the spirit. So, but for the intervention of the Lord today in the life of this lady, her heart would have ceased. So she would have died. She would have died. An autopsy report would have said that she died from heart failure. But God has intervened. So I saw the Lord seated on a cherubim. By the grace of God, I saw heaven open. Just like somebody pushing a window to the side. So it is through this window that I saw the Lord seated on his cherubim. And I saw his angels surrounding him. And he called his angels, one of it, and said to the angel, bring deliverance to this lady. And so I saw that the angel had drawn out his sword. And the angel descended onto the face of this earth. And another angel with sword. I was standing in the pillar of cloud with an angel, but I saw another angel coming with a sword.
Now me who say angel no pillar of fire no. Ah, nejina me nsani faso no. Angel no ba no ojina pillar of fire no. Now me who say angel no. Oye ne nsa say na me sumi wura pillar of fire no.
I saw
na me share na me huni. Na say nete.
I saw that when the angel was coming, the angel came into the pillar of fire, and the angel beckoned me to come. And so I entered the pillar of fire. I looked and I saw.
Not just a free pillar of clouds, a pillar of fire.
So what it meant was that I came out from the pillar of clouds and I entered the pillar of fire.
A honor many angel no near of free a radianum sane. Menano a pillar of fire when you run.
And so myself and the angel with whom I am, who was with me in the pillar of fire, we entered that stream of water. Now, when we entered the stream, we went into a certain city. And there were lots of people in that city or town. Each of them had the semblance of a crocodile. they all had partly, they all looked partly like a human being and crocodiles. And I saw that they were moving about in that city, in that stream of water.
And so when
the people who were in that city and town saw us, myself and the angel, they began to run away and they began to scream. And so I saw that with the angel and myself, we entered into a big room. And I saw a certain cage, and this lady was in that cage. And I saw that this spirit that I had described was standing by the side of the cage and had pointed its finger toward the heart of this lady. Ebi fair kakra bi so ye tuntum black ma hu so matwa ye nua ba cage no ho ahia. Now I saw that there were certain numbers of dwarfs that had surrounded the cage of this lady. Angel presence no e ma honhum nyina de ntiamu dwane. Now by virtue of the presence of the angel, it caused all the spirits there to flee with a shout. Naka sunsum pani no de ne fam te sa danchem na ne suru te sa nipa na nanim. Eyemienu nipa nim dentema nim ne tie baako ono de ogine hudi to ono de ogina ho ene wo hwe angel no me hu say angel no strike no. Now I saw that all the spirits fled except that one spirit that was partly human and partly a crocodile. I saw that the angel struck this demon. Where your woman nkwa. Now this is a matter of life and death. Onipa bia ansa na bewu honam no sunsum kum na wo sunsum ansa. Now, for every person, before you die or the manifestation of your death happens, you are killed first of all in the spiritual realm before you die. Angel struck spirit way. The angel struck that spirit, and the angel removed this lady from the cage and brought this lady to stand in the pillar of fire. And so we came out from that city. And we came out from that stream. And we came onto the land of the living. And by the time I gained my consciousness, I was in this auditorium. Now the angel who came from heaven, I did not see how the angel departed. But I can still see the angel with whom I was standing in the pillar of clouds. Now the Lord said to me that He has ministered to this lady. Put your hands together for Jesus. What would have happened to her is that in this month, this lady's heart would have ceased and would have culminated into death and loss of her life. Now when you hear things like this, when you hear things like this, it must make you aware that there are realities in existence, and also that God is real and Satan is real. Madam, which church you fellowship at?
Church of Christ.
Machines no volume.
Church of Christ.
Church of Christ. Why not do baha?
Who brought you here?
Mr. Jerry.
Why? Jerry. Okay. O first time ni ana
It's today your first time.
Wabahada. Na Owusu pa.
Now you were crying.
Na Owusu.
Tell us why you were crying.
Me 3 months ni makuma.
O say?
Me 3 months.
She said she's been sick for about 3 months now.
Wahefa?
Makuma.
Wakoma.
And the sickness has to do with the heart.
Bad 3 months ni. Eluntina na Owusu no.
Me na ma etweme.
O na ma na etwem.
Makuma na etweme.
Wakoma na etwem. Eyo dudu. Eluntina na Owusu no.
Pacha me ya.
Eya wo yantina na Owusu no. And I miss me who said demon no ten akoma bo nsem Jesus.
Put your hands together for Jesus.
Hallelujah.
Amen.
Ahofa mami musa bibi se wonni mama ne how.
Madam, let me ask you something. Don't be worried if you don't know the answer.
Men san starting so. Good. Say said you soon ube hold on. Kakra me amemu was su kakra. Ahofe Bosumo fie ana
Is there an idol
winda.
in your family?
Pacho me nana ba ye tender konfu.
Huh?
Me nana ba o ye tender konfu.
Onana aye tender come for or come tender. Onana no way.
Si wo kube ana sa yele mi si wo baby a. Ono na yo koya kwanchi.
Se tender sikube mi ana tender si baby on e kwaya kwankyere. Not just why tender come for wonderful.
Now she said that her grandparents or the child of one of her grandparents is the fetish priest responsible for thunder.
Not just say Nsuma no strong.
What it means is that that spirit was strong.
Tina na moti adolso sa no.
That is why he has a lot of dwarfs attending it.
Ne headquarters e wo nsuom.
And its headquarters was in a stream of water.
Now, osofo, when they in charge e wo nsuo so. Your friend Leviathan.
Now, who is in charge over waters? It is called Leviathan.
Our spiritual realms, Leviathan, or flyer, a colossal lightning, and a tender.
Now, in the spiritual realm, when Leviathan flies, its flight is accompanied by lightning and thunder.
Leviathan, tubia, ayira moni agrada papai.
Anytime Leviathan moves, there is lightning and thunder characterizing its flight.
Ono no hwepo so, ono hwe nsuo nyina so.
And Leviathan is in charge of waters and the sea.
Mame wata hye Mame wata
The mermaid is subject to its authority.
Ohwe Lucifer ne ranks no ma Leviathan and our second in command, on our vice president. Lucifer na president, Leviathan na vice. Were dangerous. Even Lucifer and Posuro.
Now, in the hierarchy of the satanic kingdom, Lucifer is the president, but the vice president is Leviathan. And Leviathan is a very dangerous spirit.
Anti-conformia were tender conform were dangerous.
And so any fetish priest who is a priest of tender is dangerous.
Conformia or tender conformia a nsuo ahonhom and odi adwuma a Leviathan.
Now every fetish priest responsible for thunder works with the powers of Leviathan.
Leviathan eduru time bi otimi dane it is a snake, dragon and as a crocodile.
Now Leviathan sometimes can transform into a snake, a dragon or a crocodile.
Well, you're dangerous.
It's a very dangerous, very, very dangerous demon.
Ahofe woso nana kom no nana no way onana no way
Pacho wawu.
wawu and say ho na kom
Obi anko.
obi an kom boso no.
She said that
O say I want him
Me pacho soga kopa.
sugar kope bon sama Jesus nsuo no okay nsuo no fi Togo okay eti sugar kope me kan sugar kope okay not just nsuo no efri Togo and eba sugar kope ana onana no ne kom na kom no sugar kope
Pacho
enti ufri hen
soga kopa.
ufri sugar kope bon sama Jesus
clap your hands for
sugar
Jesus.
kope and somebody now born Jesus.
Is this all you can do for Jesus?
Sugar kope. Sugar kope. Not just say, and come send sugar kope babe. And so if you Togo. And a bar be do sugar kope. A honor na hinamagu. Wonderful. Sugar kope nsuo so na me angel no ye bowura mu no. Ani enu abesa na koma 80. Sunsum na tene ne nsatea ahofe Good news I me what the man say until I come no pains ni bi.
Madam, the good news I have for you is that no more would you feel that pain.
Now this month here, anka nsuma yi bekuna fra asase yi so yi. Erade ayi na firi owuom.
Amen.
Onyangu.
Amen.
We onam hono ma behu obituary.